Every single year, NAIC is one of the biggest and most important tournaments of the year. People fly from all over the world to try to chase the glory of winning this last international tournament before the World Championships in August. Now, this year, it's even bigger and it's even better. Taking place in New Orleans, this is going to be the biggest Pokemon tournament we've ever had as a VGC community, which makes it even more exciting to see who'll be crowned the new NAIC champion. Last year was absolutely insane, with an amazing Cinderella run from PatCon himself to win the entire thing with his Ice Rider team. This year, we wanted to build up the hype and talk about 5 players that we think could make incredibly deep runs and maybe even win the biggest VGC tournament of all time.
Coming in at number 5, we have Shiliang Tang. Now, this guy is one of the best players of this generation. He's one of the best players in America and one of the best players in the world. Not only that, he builds some of the best teams in the format. Now, if you take a look at his recent finishes, this guy, he fails to not lose in day 1, right? Like, he always makes day 2, always has a deep run, and he's doing it with some really, really creative choices. A lot of times, his team is winning the entire tournament.
Yeah, we saw it at Milwaukee, where it did win. We saw it at San Antonio, where it did win once again. He's consistently building the best team in the format, and him and his team building group are always shining. But I think this time, it's his time to shine at NAIC. He had an insanely deep run last year, getting top 8, losing to the eventual champion. Why can't it be his turn this time?
Exactly, and I mean, we've seen him have deep runs a couple times at Worlds too. And he's just one of the best players. He's consistently Wolf's, kryptonite, which is a big deal, I think, when, one of the best players in the world consistently loses to this guy. But really, I think the sauce is just in his team building. We saw the San Antonio team revolutionizing Calric's Ice Rider with Roaring Moon, Lando Eye, or Shifu Ogerpon Fire. Then, of course, the Miraidon Grimmsnarl team that won Milwaukee kind of like set the tone for the rest of the format. That team did so well. I mean, 3 in top 8, basically. He did really well. And again, last year's NAIC with the Wo-Chien Kyogre. So I think he's going to pull up with some real heat. It's going to catch people off guard. And on top of that, he has that skill that's unmatched. And I think this could finally be the time where it's his turn to wear the crown.
Yeah, and I think on that note too, he is an incredible player. I've played him several times. It feels like he's just mind controlling you. Like, he's reading your mind every single turn. Like, I remember last year, or in 2023, sorry, I woke up, sat down, sat across from him, and right off the bat, he hit me with the most nasty read of the entire day. And he destroyed me quickly, 2-0, right? He comes to play, and he's very, very good at this game. So I think he's got a good chance of winning this entire tournament.
I've had a similar experience at EUIC where I think it's again that, matchup unfamiliarity. I have no idea what's happening, but he knows exactly what he wants to do. And he smacked me more than, I've ever been smacked in my life at EUIC. He was using a crazy Sun team, and I think he's going to pull up again with some crazy shit and going to make everyone feel the same way I did. So I think Shiliang Tang has a really strong chance to get it done.
Coming in at number 4 here is Shohei Kimura, also known as Zine, also known as the 2023 World Champion. So Zine is a player that's been around forever. He's a really, really incredible player, and he loves to travel for these tournaments. He really wants to win an international tournament. He's come to NA multiple times. He's went to the European regionals, and the European Internats, and he's also been to the Australian regionals quite frequently, especially this year, placing 9th most recently, and then 3rd at the Brisbane regionals. So he's been popping off. He's been doing great this year, and I'm excited to see him at NAIC.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he plays in the Japanese circuit, but he's going to these tournaments anyway, just because he's that good. He knows he can, win for glory, but he also makes a shit ton of money, dude. He's stacking these bans because he's consistently top cutting, and he's easily one of the most dangerous players with a standard team. He often adds his own little flair to it, but usually he's known for kind of perfecting the craft and the play of a standard Japanese team. We saw it when he won Worlds. We saw it, even the year after. I don't remember his finish, but he was one of the early users of the Arubega Miraidon team, and we saw him do really well with it post-Worlds too, getting, top cut at regionals, doing fairly well at Europe, I believe. So yeah, I think he's easily one of the most deadly players.
I think also, yeah, like you said, he is very, very good in a format and in a meta that he can use the standard in. And I totally expect this format to be one that he can thrive in. We have really, really strong restricted Pokemon. Things are kind of settling in. And so I totally expect him to roll up with maybe a CSR Zamazenta team. Or just something really, really consistent and really strong. We could also see him run up with his Melbourne team, which was a kind of a new look on the Zamazenta and Miraidon team that Joe used. He's a big Joe UX9 fan too. He really likes Joe's teams. So I'm curious to see what he's going to bring, and I expect him to just have something consistent that he can shine with.
I think one of the most underrated parts of his game is his passion for the game. This guy lives and breathes Pokemon. And if anyone's ever seen his 2016 set, he pops off. And I think you never want to be playing against someone who's that invested in the game, because he's thinking, he's putting his heart on the line, and he's easily one of the best players of all time. So maybe it's this time for a Japanese player to take home the North America International Championship. Entering the top 3, we have Marco Silva. Now, this guy is deadly. He's one of the best players of this generation, one of the best players in Europe, and someone who's had like an incredibly dominant season. That win in Latin America into second at Toronto is one of the craziest things I've ever seen with the exact same team. And if you guys don't remember, it's the Charizard Jumpluff squad with, Tailwind and Ursaluna in the back. I think Marco's just been one of the most consistent players since the Sun and Moon era when he was born. I don't know, he's like 5 years old. So he is someone I've always been afraid of playing. Even back in 2019, I was like, I'm fine. I probably have a bad Marco Fierro matchup, but it's fine. I'm not going to play him. And since then, he has only gotten better. He manages to, similar to Zine, find the standard teams, put a little bit of his own spin, but really master it, really master the play element of it, and try to be one step ahead of the meta. Even this most recent tournament, he tried to be one step ahead of the meta. I don't think it worked out so well, but some of his peers did really well with the team. He used like a crazy Miraidon Electric Seed Terapagos team. But I think the point is that this guy is clearly one of the best players in the world. So whatever he brings, it's going to be scary and he's going to be difficult to beat. And he's trying to push the game forward.
Yeah, I think Marco is really, really smart in his team decisions and team building. He consistently finds the weird matchups, the weird Pokemon that give him a slight edge, right? We saw it with the Heatran that he definitely popularized a little bit on the Screamtail team that he was running. And we saw it with the Charizard Jumpluff team. No one really could pilot that team as well as he could. People tried and they failed. But he put up that second into first, into second combo, which is just absolutely nuts for one player with one team. And no one else could even come close with the team. No one got top 8 with it. No one can get close to what Marco can do. And I think this is the time. This is where he ramps up, right? Because Marco, he's won Internats. He's won Regionals. It's finally time for him to try and win Worlds, and I think NAIC is the perfect testing ground for him to get ready to launch himself into Worlds. And I think going into Worlds, he's going to be extremely hype. I'm extremely excited to see what he's going to bring and how he's going to do it.
And I think for a lot of these players, NAIC is the tournament right before Worlds. We have a big gap before, but it's also where people are fighting for their invite. And I think something like bringing comfort or bringing something that isn't too crazy actually works out really well at these tournaments, because some people, they overestimate, they overadjust. And Marco's kind of the king of consistency. So I could see him really popping off. I mean, he's top cut Worlds, and I've played him before quite a few times. He is someone who always has his foot on the gas. He's really difficult to catch in a bad position. But I do really want to quickly say, you said no one had success with his Jumpluff Charizard team, but I did win a cup with it, and I want to say maybe my win was more impressive than his Toronto and LATAM finishes, because I did lose my Torkoal.
And Gdansk. Remember, he did this 3 times in a row, which is really nuts.
Now, there's no way you don't know his name by now, and if you don't think he can win, you're going to be proved wrong. Marco Fierro could absolutely be your NAIC 2025 champion.
Coming in at number 2 is probably one of the most hype new age players in Michael Kelch. This guy is fucking insane. His worst finish at Worlds right now is 3rd, and his best finish is 2nd. Absolutely insane. I am so excited for Worlds purely to see how this guy does and if he can finally claim the crown that he wants to earn. But going into NAIC, he is coming off of back-to-back regional wins. I don't even It's just fucking insane. That's just incredible right now, especially in the current year, in the current format. Back-to-back regional wins is just insane.
And I was gonna say, especially in the modern era, these tournaments are not small. These are huge. You know, the regional I won, you multiply that by 3, and it's not even equal to one of these regionals he won. The cool part is he's not using really standard builds too. Michael has a style. He's not using something that's like unusable by other people, but he does generally find something that's not the most common, generally something very aggressive. He's seen a lot of success with Dragapult, Choice Band Dragapult, Qian Pao for Rigoroth. That's how he got his first, big Worlds finish. Next year, Qian Pao, Zamazenta, kind of things that put on a lot of offensive pressure. And we've seen this in his play too. He's not, he's not slying away from the reads. He's down to make an aggressive play to get him that victory, like really early in the game. And you can see this guy's a juggernaut. He lives and breathes Pokemon. If you think Zine plays Pokemon, this guy, if he's not playing VGC, he's on Ranbats. He's honestly one of the most iconic Pokemon figures across formats. He's one of the best Smogon players. I mean, he's got the I Connect meme. I Connect! He's literally one of the most iconic players, and he's part of this new age renaissance. Some of these younger players who are just clearly like, the best in the world. It's not just the old age, VGC players who've been playing as long as you and I have, but some of these guys who started 2 years ago. And yeah, man, I just can't see too many people stopping Michael. He's just too good.
I feel like on his current trajectory, Michael could become the best player of all time. And that excites me. That's so hype. In a game as long and as established as we've played, like, it's so beautiful and so refreshing to see someone who is so good and who is dominating the game, just like Wolf did and does, But the thing is like, when I was sitting here and we were talking about this list, I'm like, it's crazy to me that we can't put the guy who's won back-to-back regionals in the number 1 slot, because the guy in the number 1 slot is, in my mind, better. Which is crazy to say. It's absolutely absurd to say. And I don't even know. This guy still easily could win Nats. I think Michael's incredible. Really, really great player. I'm excited to see what he cooks.
It would be no shock to me at all if Michael Kelsch wins NAIC. And finally, at number 1, this man needs no introduction. We said that, Michael could be the best of all time, but he's not. And you know why, because it's no other than Wolf Glick. I mean, literally, what do we have to say about this guy? We're not going to go into all of his past accomplishments because we don't need to. We can just look at this year. Won a regional, Toronto. Won EUIC. Wait, how did he do at some of these other regionals this year?
Just looking at his regionals, they're absolutely insane, right? 9th, 8th, 1st, and then 21st at his regionals. Those are his 5 events of the season, and his worst being 21st is absolutely insane in a game like Pokemon that has so much variables and hacks and luck and RNG. He does not care. He is easily the best player in the game right now. And like back in the day, obviously he's had those crazy finishes. He's always been consistent, but I think that he might be better now than he was when he won Worlds. I think it's easy to say that. I think he's playing on a level that is just almost above everyone else, except maybe a couple players on this list.
Yeah, and I think he is better than them. That's why we have him number 1. Mm-hmm. It's important to remember, Milwaukee 21st, his worst finish, he still top cut that tournament. And he wasn't even trying. Like, obviously, he's always trying, but we both played him. We spoke to him. He said, I only came because I want more practice in the format. There's a big gap between NAIC and Worlds. I just want to get as many tournaments in as I can. He said his team had some holes, but it doesn't matter. He has that, level of play where he goes to any tournament, he can win. And I completely agree with you. I think he's in his prime. He's having a second prime. This guy's the fucking LeBron of Pokemon. And, we're known on the channel as being Wolf Glazers, but we're not even like that. He's just that good. Like, it's literally impossible to glaze him too much because he's done things that no one else has done, even in the modern era. He's doubled his regional count since he held the number 1, most amount of regionals. He's had that duel with Paul for many years, and then he just started lapping him, dude. Like, he's at 10 now. So I don't think it's unreasonable to put Wolf at the top of this list. Because you even look at, people are looking at the CP sheets to see, where they are for their invites. And you look at, the BFLs. How many majors do they have? How many locals have they played? Wolf is at the top of this list with 0 points from locals. When he shows up to an event, it means he's ready. It means he's got something cooking, and he's coming to kill everyone.
He's played this game for so long, and he just has it all set up. He has his system down. He has his team building down. He has his play down. What I love about Wolf too is he's changed over the years. I think like very early on he was very known as a defensive player, almost to a fault, and it was like a problem. But now he's like hit this like. He's not afraid to take risks. He's not afraid to flip a game on his head on a turn one read. He's very, very aggressive, but he also is reserved when he needs to be. He's just so good at this game, and I think it's just been a treat to watch him this year. And I seriously cannot wait for Worlds, just simply to see if he can do it again, right? And I think this is that step, right? Wolf always wants to win NAIC. He's won it 3 times now. He wants it again. And I think he would love. I think he's trying really hard. I think he's in the cave right now, the Pokemon grind cave, just going nuts, trying to be as insane as he can going into this tournament.
Who else would we pick other than the 3-time U.S. national champion?
True.
At our number 1, we have Wolf Glick. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. I hope this generated some hype because we have some amazing players going to NAIC. But at the end of the day, the Battle Room's picking Wolf, baby. We always do.
We always do.